So Paul, I'm in March '84 with Duran Duran, and we're halfway through the American tour. We're at this point in time coming in and out of New York on a private jet. I'm going to tell a brief story about a phone call. I was in Boston at the Meridian on the 13th or 14th of March when Brooks, my travel agent, Brooks Ogden, Modern Travel, calls me from New York from her office and says, "God, is everything okay?" And I said, "Yes." He went, "Tom Bates has just phoned me from Boston, telling me that it's been cancelled and I've got to change hotels and everything." And I went, "Well, Brooks, first I've heard of it." He said, he phoned and said that Simon LeBon slipped on the ice and broken his leg, and the gig's going to be cancelled. And I went, "No, Brooks, no. Everything's fine. He's winding you up." She went, "The bastard." I said, "That's quite a big wind-up, though." As it happened, I said, "Brooks, you know what, though? We could play a trick back on him, because I was in Boston, 3 of the band were in Boston, but Simon and Andy were still in New York. And they'd stayed an extra night, and they were getting just a regular flight shuttle from one of New York airports down to Boston, which is only about 40 minutes flight or something." And I said, "If I can get a message to Simon, we could really wind Mr. Bates up, actually, on arrival at the venue." So what I did was I managed to contact the limo company that was going to go and pick him up from the airport, and asked the driver to go and get a false cast for an arm, and tell Simon that the production manager, the promoter production manager, Tom Bates, has been winding up Brooks, and could he put this on and pretend to have actually broken his arm. So anyway, sure enough, afternoon, just before sound check, the limo arrives and Simon gets out with this cast all over him, and Andy's with him. And what they do is, not only does he follow through for the whole of the sound check with this cast round his arm, with Tom, the production manager, a mouth aghast, just not quite believing what he's seeing. But Simon doesn't tell any of the rest of the band either. Oh. So the wind-up gets bigger and bigger, because the other 3 think he's broken his arm, slipping on the snow. And it wasn't until after the sound check, and he does the whole sound check, and he's so, and grimacing, and he's supposed to be dancing around the stage, when the doors open, and all of a sudden he's just like, he's got this terrible sort of cast on, and it's not till they get in the dressing room and all 5 of them are there together that he sort of gets his arm out, snaps the cast off his arm, and waggles it about and goes, "Yeah." And the whole band sort of sigh a huge communal sigh of relief. But I then go and get Tom Bates, the production manager, and I said, "Look, Simon wants to have a word with you." Tom's really shitting bricks now. And he goes back into the dressing room, and Simon does the same thing with him. And so we got Mr. Bates back well and truly for winding up Brooks in the first place, and of course Brooks loved it. And I'm going to try and get some reaction from Brooks at some point to see how she remembers it all. That was, but it's definitely a good prank.